Welcome back, my students, to another episode of Comic Class. And today, guys, we're going to be looking at Nick Spencer's The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 9, Sins Rising. And yeah, guys, I was looking really forward to making this video for you guys. Sins Rising is an amazing story arc / volume. And yeah, without further ado, guys, let's get right into the story. Let's go. So the story pretty much starts off with this character called Carly, who actually used to date Spider-Man, and yeah, we get to learn a little bit about her backstory and how she looked up to her father, who was a police officer, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Now we get to see that Carly reminisces about her relationship with Peter, but also reveals that her father, who she thought had died in the line of duty or in some type of car crash, basically did not die and kind of like faked his death and basically worked with Mysterio. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we can learn a little bit about this character when she's introduced to this story. Now we get to see that Peter Parker actually is at a sort of like a play, like a musical, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Originally he was going to go on a date with MJ, but she ends up canceling on him, and it's just a really cool development for his character. So after he gets done with the play, he actually heads out to head back home and basically saves this dude from getting run over by this car. Now it turns out that the guy is basically a guy called Overdrive, and basically has the ability to touch cars, I guess, and turn them into this type of super vehicle. And yeah, so Spider-Man basically chases after Overdrive, trying to get him to slow down and not hit people. And this is where Overdrive basically tells him that he's not trying to hurt anybody, and he's actually trying to get away from somebody that is chasing him. So Spider-Man basically realizes that, Overdrive is not lying about this, and it's revealed that Overdrive is being chased by a dude named the Sin Eater, who had gotten revived in the last volume. So yeah, so basically the Sin Eater unleashes one of his guns on Overdrive, and Spider-Man quickly grabs these two kids from getting caught in the blast and saves them, but looks back to see that Overdrive's vehicle is completely destroyed. Now Spider-Man thankfully was able to save Overdrive from being blown up in the vehicle, and they head into this like abandoned building, basically this type of place where people park cars, like parking lot. And yeah, so basically the Sin Eater arrives and basically tells Spider-Man to move over and let him kill Overdrive for his sins, apparently to cleanse him. So Spider-Man and the Sin Eater basically attack each other, they start fighting, and yeah, it's pretty cool to see them go at it with each other. Eventually Overdrive gets shot down by the Sin Eater, and it's a really brutal panel, guys. The Sin Eater basically tells Spider-Man that he has freed the Overdrive from his sins, that he has cleansed him, and that what he did was a kindness. And he does reveal to Spider-Man that he does not plan on killing Spider-Man, because someone else wants to do that himself. So this is possibly and most likely Kindred that he is talking about. Now Spider-Man basically realizes that Kindred has to be behind all of this, and he heads out doing his thing. Now back to the morgue or wherever, it turns out that Carly, who is kind of like a forensic scientist, it seems, basically sees Overdrive wake up and he's alive, and Overdrive has no idea where he is or what exactly has happened to him. Now after this, we get to see that this group of supervillains basically attack this auditorium of people, and it's pretty crazy. Spider-Man's taking on all of these villains at once, and we get a lot of cool action panels, but eventually the Sin Eater arrives to take on these supervillains and kill them. So he basically Spider-Man realizes that Sin Eater, not only is he killing people, but he's actually absorbing their powers and is able to utilize them for himself, something the Sin Eater wasn't able to do beforehand. And so yeah, so it basically uses one of the abilities of the people he just killed and cleansed to kind of like turn Spider-Man into stone. It makes him watch as he kills the other few members. And yeah, finally gets to the leader of the group and basically just kills him without mercy. It's a pretty savage moment. And Spider-Man, thinking that the people were gonna like just, be disgusted by what they just saw, basically see them clapping and realizing that there's a lot of bad people in this world and they really don't want true justice. So yeah, it's pretty messed up scene. Now we get to see with Nora Winters that basically she goes to see the inmates at Ravencroft and see these people that were just killed and brought back to life by the Sin Eater, and basically see that they are completely not evil anymore. They don't show any signs of their former selves, that they're completely model citizens, which is just very weird. Now Norman Osborn is shown to be completely sane, and he was freed from his cell from Ravencroft, and Nora does mention this. Now Norman offers her a chance to talk to the patients in exchange for having two of his guards watch over her, and it's pretty awesome to see Norman in the story again in a more vital role, and we'll definitely see him in a way more vital role in the next volume. So yeah, so we get to see that Spider-Man basically is contemplating about what just happened with the Sin Eater and if his ways are actually right, and what should he do when the people of the city are actually agreeing with what the Sin Eater is doing. So after this, we get to see that Spider-Man talks to Overdrive, or at least tries to talk to him while he's unconscious, and basically tells Carly that he just doesn't know what he should do. And basically Nora Winters is shown in a car with the Sin Eater, basically kind of surprising her. She takes a shot at his chest, and this does not kill the Sin Eater, which kind of surprised me. He does take the bullet out with one of the powers that he stole, and he basically says that he wants to talk to the people. And Nora basically shows Jonah Jameson basically things that the Sin Eater was talking about. And the Sin Eater basically broadcasts this to New York City, basically telling them that he wants to create a world without sin and that he wants their help, so anyone that wants to join him, to come join him. Now Spider-Man basically has this discussion with Carly, and basically Carly tells him that maybe he has too much faith in people, that some people probably are just evil, which brings up a really good moral question for this story arc and volume. Now the Sin Eater basically amasses a huge army of people that are like-minded to him. So the Sin Eater basically amasses a huge army that is like-minded to him and his goals. And yeah, it's a really cool scene to see all these people come up to the Sin Eater wanting their own mask and their purpose to take on the evil of the city. Of course, this turns out to be people just going off and killing people that don't agree with them. And it sounds good at first, but reveals itself as being pretty evil and taken completely the wrong way. Or maybe this is what the Sin Eater wanted, I have no idea. But yeah, so Spider-Man basically sneaks into their hideout and attacks the Sin Eater before he can cleanse another one of his people that is actually hooded. So there is theories and speculation that this could be a character that we know from the actual main Spider-Man series of Nick Spencer's The Amazing Spider-Man. So we'll see if that gets revealed later on. But yeah, so Spider-Man takes on the Sin Eater with all of his different powers, and very quickly Spider-Man realizes that he's kind of outmatched with all these different powers the Sin Eater has. And yeah, it's a really cool fight scene. We get a lot of cool action panels showing off the Sin Eater's abilities and his cronies. And yeah, so while Spider-Man's having this fight, basically the whole prison is erupting into chaos, and basically one of the main dude from that supervillain group basically tells Norman Osborn, who is listening on the surveillance cameras, that he's coming for you, and do you hear his message? He comes for you, Norman Osborn. And we get to see Norman Osborn with the silhouette of the Green Goblin, hinting that he will don his Green Goblin costume in the next volume, which, spoiler alert, he does. And it's really awesome. I can't wait to talk about it. And yeah, that's the end of volume 9, Sins Rising. And yeah, I was going to involve the volume 10 issue, basically meta issue, where it has all the chapters of the Return of the Green Goblin, because that does finish off the Sins Rising story arc. But I decided to make sure that I cover that as just volume 10, because I would like to have them in chronological order, even though it is, I want it to be kind of like the way that you buy them in the trades. So we're going to leave that until the next video. And trust me guys, Spider-Man and the Green Goblin teaming up to fight against a monster version, a juggernaut version you could say, of the Sin Eater. Amazing stuff, and I can't wait to get to that video tomorrow or the next day. And yeah guys, so that was volume 9 Sins Rising, a very good volume, very great volume. Possibly either my third favorite or second favorite in all of Nick Spencer's run so far that I've read. And yeah, it really shows the greatness that Nick Spencer has brought to us with his Spider-Man run. He really shows us the potential as well. I really hope Marvel does not get rid of Nick Spencer anytime soon. I'm hoping he stays on for at least another year or two, because he has some really great ideas, and the artists that he picks to handle his stuff are amazing too. And it's just been a really good ride, and I'm gonna be kind of sad to catch up because it is nice to read as much as I want, but that's just how it is, guys. But that's gonna be it. I can't wait to get to volume 10. I'm gonna start reading the last Remain story arc. That way I can have volume 11 out for you guys really soon as well. But volume 10 review will probably be out either tomorrow or the next day. I'll be working on that really soon. And yeah, until next time, guys, God bless you, and until the next lesson, keep on reading.
I am who I'm meant to be. I am who I'm meant to be. Over and out again. My future needed clarity.